going to share with you also what we think and where we think, I would say, the NFT world is going on the art side. You know, we've discussed a lot about the market and the expansion. I'm going to give you our perspective on what might happen next. So just to begin with, I'd like to tell you about KORNEA. Just a couple of words. Thank you for the introduction. KORNEA was created really to be the first on-demand platform dedicated to visual arts. And what we want to do is to offer a new visual experience to our users, whether they are B2C and B2B, and a new business model for artists. You can download KORNEA app if you want later on, but you will see we have over 2,000 work of art in photographs, paintings, and digital arts. And really the intent was to create a new vehicle for artists to share their work and to be able to generate revenue out of it, as opposed to other social networks such as Instagram or YouTube, where it's very, very difficult for artists to be seen and also to create revenues out of it. So that's really in a nutshell KORNEA. We started looking at NFTs, in fact, because we think that today it's I would say limited to a number of local and experts in the techno world, if I can say a little bit geeky. But I think what's coming is much bigger than that. So if we just put a little bit of perspective on what happened, it all started with the CryptoPunks. The frenziness started with the CryptoPunks from Larva Labs. And if you look at it today, it's over $1.6 billion market transactions that have happened on the cryptos and those nice little punks, which might seem ridiculous. When you talk to artists, whether they are photographers or painters, they think this is crazy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. We're just talking about the pixels. But in fact, it just shows that there is a demand, and there is a demand for people to own those, I would say, unique artworks. And beyond the speculation is to be able to exchange them, to sell them, and to create a market that is totally decentralized. And that's really the storm coming in the art world. So right now, the Punk 7804, which is the one you see on the bottom right with the little pipe, is selling for $12.9 million. This is totally crazy. And the minimum price, as was mentioned earlier, is $300K for any CryptoPunk. So, this is a big boom, and you see in the graph just next to it, the average selling price of the CryptoPunks, which really took off, if you look at it, about a year ago, and it went extremely fast. And I mean, we're all here because we're excited about that market. I think a huge bubble is starting to merge. But at the same time, it's a deep trend in the industry and in the art industry. So, why NFT in art? You might consider, why should we look at NFT beyond just digital stuff and digital drawings and even animations? Why look at traditional art? And when I mean traditional art, we might refer to historical paintings, masterpieces, but we can look also at photographies from very famous people like Elliot Erwitt, like Steve McCurry, if some of you know those guys. They have thousands of unique photographs that they have taken in places in the world in unique circumstances and absolutely stunning shots. Why not use NFT for that? So if we look at the definition first of NFT in art, and this is very 101 for all of you guys who are experts, but it's really about the fact it's unique, or you can make a series out of it, and that's true for Beeple and all the ones that came after that. It's protection through the blockchain, and then the ability to trace and to see the transactions. When you look at traditional art and Mona Lisa and any paintings you can take, there is only one. So the unique side of it is fine, and it's definitely makes sense. The protection is protected by nature, and if I can make a parallel, it's protected by many people in those museums. But in essence, the artwork is just itself. There is nothing else. So you can't, you can see copies of it and copies of pictures on the internet, but there's only one art. Now, and that's where it gets interesting. What happens if we make this digital? And I'll come back to that later, but this is a big trend now coming. A lot of museums are starting to digitalize their collections. And in particular, we see the office in Milan, which started doing that with some with the Da Vinci painting, and then now we start seeing also Botticelli being totally digitized. The Hermitage Museum in St. Petersburg in Russia is also going through the digitization of its entire, I would say, entire collection. So something really, really big is coming, and I think we've seen, you know, the CryptoPunks and the digital, nice digital artworks emerging. But now Christie's, Sotheby's are going on in this market. They are pushing for sales, and then it's going to create a big market for traditional art. Just a little story about the Beeple painting. Actually, if you may know or not know, but the artwork was sold on a night session, which is traditionally a session for Christie's, where you have not very famous artists, and then there is not even promotion of those artworks. And they were extremely surprised because in a very short period of time, the artwork reached 1 million, and then it went extremely fast up to $69 million. So this is a big earthquake in the art world. So now, the last point is about the traceability. Mona Lisa is Mona Lisa, and you see a lot of masterpieces. They are only one, and everybody knows them. Even when they are sold through auctions, we trace them, and then we see who they are sold to. So the traceability is easy for those very famous ones. What about the second or third tier of those paintings, which are less famous? How are you sure that these paintings are actually the ones coming from the original ones and the one coming from the artist? And I think this is where NFT gets interesting, because you can create and you can trace those artworks. And the last thing I didn't show here, which is really about I would say the value that the artwork will take over time. A lot of painters and a lot of professional photographers died, and they were poor. Van Gogh died, he was in misery. And many of them were in the same situation. And most of them became famous afterwards. What is interesting with NFTs, whether you attach an NFT sticker to an original painting, or you actually digitize the artwork, you are able to generate revenues over time. The smart contracts enable the original artist to generate revenues. And I think that's why also the art world is really starting to look in depth into the NFT world, because not only does it provide new potential revenue streams, for instance, from museums, because they will be able to sell the digital arts, but also they are able to generate revenue on the secondary, third market, etc. So over time, even for private collectors, they can generate fortunes in 20, 30, 50 years. And this is a critical one. That's a critical message for the artist, and that's one that at KORNEA we really try and sell to especially the photograph world. Guys, you're gonna make money, but not only once. You're gonna make money over time, and this is totally changing the dynamic of the industry. It's gonna take time. Some start to really pick up, but I think we're gonna see a real acceleration in 2022 and beyond. Now, the last thing I want to discuss, and I have, sorry again, no slide for that, but I think what is interesting is what's going to happen next. So, we've seen I would say the tech side of the NFT emerging. We've seen the frenziness around those CryptoPunks and the kitties and all the digital artworks, and then the cards. So Rare, by the way, raised $700 million yesterday on a valuation of $4.5 billion. which is half of the Renault French car manufacturer, which is totally crazy. This company didn't exist 5 years ago. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of, I would say, transactions and a lot of volume and a lot of money flowing into the NFT world. On the next one is going to be, I think, those copies of artworks, of original artworks, as long as they are certified by the original artist or the museums owning them. And we see a lot of examples, as I mentioned earlier. And I think really the third level and what's going to happen in the third stage, it's already emerging, but it's including those artworks, whether they are digital, whether they are original painting, photographs, animations, whatever, you mentioned it. They're going to be integrated into metaverses. And even monuments are going to be integrated into metaverses. In fact, we are currently working on a digital exposition, which is going to be shown in a totally recreated monument. I cannot mention yet because this is confidential at this stage, but it's in the Middle East. And then the monument was totally recreated in virtual reality, was totally destroyed last century. And then we are creating this exposition from unique artists in that museums, which doesn't exist anymore. So our intention long-term is to create those cultural metaverses where you're going to be able to see monuments, culture, art, and then, you know, it's probably also going to be included into games. In fact, Fortnite included, like I think 5 French castles in one of their maps, where you can go and see those castles. So we start seeing that. I think it's going to be monetized much more in the next 3 to 5 years, and that's going to be a totally new segment for art collectors, for museums, for galleries, and of course for the users of NFTs and metaverses. So, you know, I'm happy to answer questions later on. You have my contact. Again, this is KORNEA. If you have any question and if you want to discuss about art, I'm very passionate, so please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.